He's only faced 68 balls, so that's almost one. It's almost one every 4 balls.
What's the record for the most sixes in a World Cup innings?
That's an excellent question. Someone tweet that in.
Isn't the answer to that bound to be Chris Gayle or Brendan McCullum?
Yes.
Probably. Chris Gale's 200. I don't know how many sixes he hit.
So, Gulbadin, you've got 1 over left. There's 4 overs left. You're facing a man who's on 129. Good luck.
Oh, my God.
And Morgan has hit that ball high
sixes.
and hard and straight, and it's another 6. And are we running out of 6 jingles for Owen Morgan?
We might be.
Let's talk about 6. Let's talk about 6. Let's talk about 6. Let's talk about 6.
It's a regulation length ball outside off stump, and they've got to come up with plan C and D and E because plan A just simply isn't working. And if you ball more of the same, you're going to get the same result. Gulbadin in for the second ball, and it is a slower ball, and Morgan steps back and waits and hits the ball over cow corner. 6 more, 2 in a row.
Two sixes in a row. 2 6s in a row.
This is just range hitting practice.
But that's the first one, Andy, like you were talking about how they've been pure shots. That's the first manufactured one.
A little bit, yeah.
In that he's heaved that. An old-fashioned slog, really. But it's...
Good Yorker in response
the only
by
place he can
Gulbadin.
bowl is bowl the Yorker.
On leg stump, but again, hit towards that kind of mid-wicket area and the single able to be taken. And Morgan is now on 142. Only needs 11 more runs to have the highest score of this World Cup, which is currently 153.
If he stays in, I'm not saying 200. I think that's probably out of his reach.
I think we haven't got enough.
But possibly the high. He might best Jason Roy's 180. Yeah, I think so.
Well, let's see what you can do about keeping the. You'll have to keep the lion's share of the strike.
21 balls left in the innings.
38 runs off the last 12 balls, and there are some forlorn-looking Afghan fans in the crowd. And why not? There are a few forlorn faces in the field.
It looks like it. No, I won't say that.
Even Joss Butler, I think, will be thinking, goodness gracious.
Yeah,
Owen Morgan has been
after this. And it's a slower ball just outside off stump. Attempted Yorker.
Yeah.
And Root has hit that ball and tried to clear the long off fielder, but unable to do so. Root is out and he sprints off the field as if to encourage Joss Butler to come into bat. A fine knock by Root under any circumstances. 88 off 82 balls, and England are collapsing to 353 for 3.
Doomed.
very unselfish by Joe Root there. He could have easily knocked it around and got to 100, but
the bat's just kind of twisted in his hand.
Yeah,
he will be almost the forgotten man of this innings.
No, I mean, that stat of him with 150 partnership, he'd scored 38 of them. I mean, he's on number 3.
Yeah,
you know.
a strike rate of 107.
And completely forgettable that knock. We will not remember it.
8 fours, 1 6, and we will not see you in the highlight package.
Yep.
Nope, can barely. He hit that 6. That's about the only shot I can
that's
remember.
That's going to be about it.
Yeah, Diana Patterson says, we know Facebook has ended. I think we've fixed that now, so if you check that again.
I think if you check Facebook, I think we're back online.
Yeah, Rack says you guys should stop talking. Always good advice. You guys should stop talking and just play jingles whenever Morgan's batting.
I was saying to earlier, Nestlers, it can become like guerrilla music when Joss Butler and Owen Morgan are out there. God, I mean, it looked like England had sort of underplayed their first 25 overs, but when you've got
so a little bit,
when you've got this much power, I suppose look, we were saying earlier, Andy, I think when you were here, they're just always confident they can pull it back, and my God, they've done that.
So new batsman comes in. Who is the man that we'd most want to come in at number 5 with only 3.2 overs left to bowl?
It's this man.
Pryor ain't no loss, 'cause we found someone Sutler. Okay, he can't spell Joss, but he also can't spell Butler. Joss Butler, just because he is Joss Butler.
I'm calling Morgan getting out now as well.
Gulbadin in for the 5th ball of the over, and Morgan has hit that ball high, like a tracer bullet, just hovering just above the ground. And it's gone for 6 more runs.
It's gone for 6? That was 6?
I think that's gone for 6.
No, I think that was only 4.
No!
6 again.
That barely got off the ground!
Now, someone told us how...
called that.
Yeah, you know you did. You got me there. I thought that was 4.
I called him getting out. We had someone tell us how many balls it took Morgan to go from 50 to 100. How many from 100 to 150?
Well, he has his chance now, and that's a slower ball, and Morgan has kind of
He
slapped.
might be out that time.
Oh,
he is.
Exactly
One
the
ball
same.
early.
One ball early from Andy. Exactly the same response. Nobody is moving in any sort of movement of celebration. Gulbadin has finished his spell at 3 for 68. But
Pretty
Morgan
decent in context.
Morgan departs the stage after a whirlwind 148 runs off 71 balls. The people in Old Trafford are now safe from being hit in the face with a cricket ball.
But disappointed that he's gone.
We will play him on his way.
How's that? You messed about, I caught you out. How's that?
Now, I think if that previous 6 wasn't counted in this tweet, if Morgan has 17 sixes, it's the record in all ODIs.
And he does. He does. He has 17 sixes, 4 fours,
17 sixes.
141 of 70 balls, strike rate of 211.
Yep,
208.5.
And the 3
Unbelievable.
players he's just overtaken won't really surprise you. Rohit Sharma, AB de Villiers and Chris Gale.
So, England 359 for 4, 3 overs left.
2 new batsmen in, doomed.
Doomed.
Yeah, after the Lord Mayor's show comes Ben Stokes.
Oh, what can you do in this situation?
What can you do? You've got to feel sympathetic.
I got up Ben Stokes, and he called me a oh, if I'd only seen that Ben Stokes was so mean. And he called me up, said he'd punch my...
And it's Stokes who will face the first ball of the 47th over from Dowler, and there is an attempted ramp shot that Stokes looks like he's only just learnt how to play, because it's a horrific attempt at a ramp shot, and it is beats him, all ends up and goes through on the second and third bounce to the wicket keeper.
You know,
and there is no run.
Morgan's dismissal there is a little bit like Roots.
It's almost identical.
The bat twisted in his hand. Yeah.
Just didn't quite time it. Slower ball by Gulbadin. Credit to him for trying something different. Dowlat comes in for the second ball of the over, and it is short, and Stokes is able to paddle pull this away down to fine leg, and there is a square fine leg, and there is a single able to be taken.
We see a lot of destructive hitting in one-day cricket, particularly from this England team, but that was a special innings, and I think I will remember that. He almost single-handedly wrecked the whole Afghanistani bowling lineup there.
And absolutely magical is the only word that comes to mind.
Because so much one-day cricket's not very memorable, even when England play, but I mean that will stay in my mind, I think, for a while.
Butler will face his first ball of the innings. Two overs and 4 balls left to go.
Arthur says, can Butler break the List A fastest 50 record of 16 balls?
Well, he's got his first ball now.
Well,
yeah, he'll have to take most of the strike.
I think he'll have to almost take all of the strike.
I'm not sure that's true. Doesn't T20 count as List A? And then you've got that 12 ball 100 from Yuvraj. 12 ball 50, sorry.
So Dowlat comes in, third ball of the over. And it's a Yorker length ball and tails in towards Butler's off stump, and he's able to squirt that ball away to square leg, and a great running between Butler and Stokes.
Brilliant.
And they're able to turn that 1 into 2. Nice to know, just to see that there's just as much effort going into the running between the wickets as there is the big hitting that's just been going on.
Yes.
And they turn that into 2.
And as I said, Butler is the fastest person between the wickets I've ever seen, I think. And Ben Stokes isn't slow.
No, there should
Still can't please all of our tweeters. Dave Wood says, can't help thinking England missed Jason Roy today.
What?
Morgan,
Yeah.
I think that's a joke.
They might have made 500, genuinely.
Well, and
No,
Morg
no,
says England will be
no,
disappointed here. They've let 500 go
No,
begging.
they haven't. No, they haven't. Dowlat in, and it's a length ball.
That's out.
Stokes attempts to try and pull the ball away, but only gets a top edge. And it's it's actually gone, instead of pulling it, he's actually top edged it 90 degrees in the wrong direction. Comfortable catch able to be taken at mid-off. And Stokes will... is that Stokes or is it Butler? It's
Stokes,
Butler
I
is
think.
departing,
Is
sorry.
it?
It is Universal Joss,
Yeah.
who is able to give some comfortable batting practice, fielding practice. I thought he was going to be safe. I thought it was going to hit him square in the hands, but turns out he's able to take the catch. Caught Nabi, bowled Doat, 2 off 2 balls, and England are 3-6-2 for 5. I think that might be 10 runs short here.
Yeah. Ravi Nair says, I feel sorry for Afghanistan, but I can't stop giggling at this hitting.
Well,
It was astonishing.
I can't even think you feel sorry.
Yeah, Ling Mao, Butler and Stokes in, and you think the crowd is now safe? Well, they're safe from Butler. TV umpire says Rashid can bowl now. Jay Grover wants to do a shout out. Yeah, if you like. He hasn't said for who yet, so you have to send us another tweet. And Evil Scooter says he thinks Morgan plays out more dot balls than Root did. He probably did, actually, because Morgan was all sixes and dots, and Root
But he
was
did
all
hit
ones and
17
twos.
sixes.
Does say incredible batting from the Irish vowel thief.
Well, we've got a new
Batsman.
batsman. It's this man.
Our bed shouldn't touch. Move over, Amla. I like it.
And he faces his first ball, and he tries to cut that ball just outside off stump from Dolat, but only able to find just backward point, and there is no run able to be taken.
A few people on Facebook. Hidyat Ulay Kabar Jabbar Kill says 450, maybe not now. Ashikur Rahman 390 to 395, maybe.
Probably a bit beyond us, I think, now.
LC, thanks for the coverage. Does ask us to describe the action a bit more than react to it, but honestly, when the ball's flying everywhere, it's natural to just react.
Dowler in for the 5th ball of the over, and it's on leg stump. Moeen looks to flick the ball onto the leg side. Doesn't make contact, and that will be called a wide, and England move on to 3-6-3 for 5.
Mog says, did Morgan make 100 purely in sixes? He did. 17 sixes is 102.
Wow, that's astonishing. No, you're putting your maths degree to good use there, Andy.
Yep. Chris TB, you'll never beat Afghanistan like this. The real secret is to go at strike rate of 50 like Amla did.
And that is just short outside off stump, and Moeen tries the strapple there. But it's fielded by mid-off, and a single able to be taken off the last ball of the over. Delat has struck. He's on 2 for 66 after 9 overs. Both batsmen are 1 off 2 balls, and England, with 2 overs left to go, are 3-6-4 for 5.
Unfortunately, Moeen's still horrifically out of nick.
Yep, well, he's got 2 overs to get back in. And Derek Willis says, is the 6 jingle broken yet? Luckily, we're rotating between a few of them, but I'm sure they've all got to play.
I think, yeah.
Yeah, luckily Mog and Perko and all of these people have given us so many great jingles, because we really needed them all today.
It's
Needed them all
Moeen's
today.
birthday today, says Testy Test.
Well,
So,
happy birthday to him.
yep, and he's got a little bat at the end for a birthday treat.
So if you're wondering, we have got 18 6 jingles, so 1 away.
I think one of our tweeters said Rashid can bowl now, and that's what's happening.
And that is what's happening.
Wow.
Rashid won't bowl through his 10 overs, but he is coming back
he
to
needs
bowl
to
his
get
9.
this over in less than, I think, 9 runs
Yeah.
to not have the record.
Rashid Khan, no thank you, is what I would say.
to not have
So
that
it comes in for the
unwanted
first ball
record.
of his over. Moeen Ali has turned a full ball just
Happy
outside off
birthday.
stump and played the most handsome straight drive, and it has gone many a mile over the boundary. 6 runs for Moeen Ali.
The number of the day.
Not your day, is it,
Hops
Rashid
and
Khan?
kicks. The number of the day is 666.
And that has gone 92 metres, and I think they're underplaying it, because that seemed to go for yards and yards.
Oh, it's hit one of the security cameras hanging off the point.
Well, he's trying to come around the wicket, and he tries to play that to cramp Moeen up for... Moeen looks to try and pull the ball away, but can only play it straight down the ground, and it's fielded by long on, and there is no run. There is 1 run.
Unless he bowls 4 dot balls, he's going to have the joint or worst figures by a bowler in a World Cup match.
There's some dispute as to whether it's 104 or 105.
Well,
it won't matter if this is hit for 4 or 6.
He has 103, and he completely beats Stokes. All end up with a googly, and Stokes moves and drags his feet forward. There's sharp work behind the stumps, and we will go for a review to see about whether Stokes has been stumped.
Here comes the judge, here comes the judge, water in the courtroom, here comes the judge, here comes the judge, here comes the judge, water in the courtroom, here comes the judge.
Just using this review as a bit of respite.
I have to say, Andy, I thought his foot was out of the ground. I thought he dragged it, but
we'll
we
see.
shall
Let's
see.
His foot is certainly fine in terms of a legal delivery. So Erasmus will go to look at other footage.
Yeah, maybe he's in trouble.
He's in trouble currently at the moment. A slight bobble.
Too
Stokes'
slow.
foot
Too
is
slow.
back. It's on the line.
Ooh.
On the
I think
line.
he's
On
all
the
right.
line. And there go the bails. So
I think the keeper's a bit slow there.
The
and
keeper-
We need to zoom in though, because the
Stokes'
foot is
down.
down.
Is it behind?
I think there might be a tiny smidgen. Well, not from that angle. It doesn't look like it.
I think there
it's
is.
planted. I think he's going to be safe.
see,
I think
let's
there
see.
needs to be irrefutable proof. Doesn't the benefit of the doubt go towards the batsman? There we go. And
Yeah, I think there's probably a few millimetres behind that line.
I
But
think there's a few millimetres there, as we're talking about.
we
As-
need one of those extra thick lines they had at that Ashes match, because then he'd be fucked.
well,
Was that another great Aussie whinge of our times?
and then so the decision is going to be released,
It's
and he is not out.
out.
To howls of derision from the green room, who wanted Rashid Khan to take 2 wickets. And that's another googly, and Stokes looks to move away and tries to cut the ball, but is unsuccessful in doing
Rashid's
so.
trying hard to avoid this record.
Yeah, I was going to say, having jokes about him bowling 4 dot balls, he just bowled 2 in a row.
Well, I think what we can anticipate is that Stokes is going to
dropped
get another
catch.
colour.
That's a
It is
dropped
a
catch.
sharp but dropped catch, and Stokes moves inside the line and pulls this ball away, but there is a fielder deep backward square preventing the boundary. Only a single taken. Rashid has figures for 0 for 104 with 1 ball left of his spell, unable to bowl any more after this over. Just the 1 over left to go. So Moeen Ali will face, and Moeen
He's
hits the
a
ball
record
again.
breaker.
Cow corner. 6 more runs to Moeen Ali. He moves to 14 off 5. Rashid has figures of 0 for 110 after 9 overs. I will repeat that.
2, 4, 6.
Rashid Khan has figures for 0 for 110 after 9 overs.
Well, that's one way to take the 104, 105 dispute out of the equation. Just tonk him into for another 6. How many 6s has Rashid Khan conceded? Does anyone know if they can?
Quite a few.
But it'll be a lot.
1 over left to go. England have 378 for 5.
A few tweets. We'll check our YouTube stream in the break because apparently it's out of sync. Thanks, Leah. Mog says Rashid Khan's going to come out and burst a testicle falling on his stumps for a duck. That's how his day's going. And Alec Payton compares it to someone playing FIFA as Manchester United against Walthamstow under 11s.
Yeah, it did get a bit sort of unreal at points.
Dowler is going to bowl the last over of the innings. The last 5 overs have gone at over 15 and over. And Stokes, who's missed out a little bit here, 2 off 5 balls. He's going to be first up to face this first ball of the over.
As Andy said, Moeen did have 2 overs to play himself in, and he's hit 2 pretty clean 6s. So
Yeah.
some hope.
He's not tried to hit the ball too hard there, and I think that's been the difference between his success and Stokes' relative failure.
Yes.
I mean, I'm talking about relative failure,
Yeah.
about not cashing in when others have.
Do we think they've got enough?
Yes.
Well, let's see what it is that can be got from these last 6 balls. Dowlat with figures for 2 for 66, an unenviable task, and it's
bowled him.
bowled him. He's yorked him on leg stump, and Stokes has tried to walk onto his off stump in order to be able to move the ball away. He's missed the ball, and he's been clean bowled.
I won't look back, 'cause by the time that I do, you'll be gone.
And amidst all of the carnage, that's been really quite sensible bowling in the last couple of overs by Dowler.
Well, he's got 2 for 66 of his 9 overs, which in the context of this match is
Is
pretty heroic.
Well, I think that might be the third.
That's 3 for 66.
3
yeah.
for 66, sorry. Yeah. Well, fair play. Well, they've dragged it back a little bit at the end, but it must be awful going when the innings break happens, going into the changing room, having just been totally marmalised.
Well, what do you say? Apart from
Probably not. Just give him a moment to himself.
let's try and win the second half.
Rashid has conceded 11 sixes, says Linux Lear. Roger Melly says many years ago I saw Robbie Langer, uncle of Justin, hit 13 sixes in a state game. Being a spectator was equally hazardous. And Rog tells us Rashid is now the World Cup #coat costliest of all time.
We've just been passed a note. England need 9 from these remaining 5 balls to beat their own record for this World Cup, scoring 386 for 6 against Bangladesh.
Did they get that many in the end? I guess they did. Yeah.
It's amazing. They just get there now, don't they?
I was passed a note by Tony, so it must be true.
Yeah.
It must be.
Fact. No basis for it, but it's fact.
That is a hyperbolic point made with total conviction.
Well, Chris the Choir points out that Stokes did his best to win our bets because he was caught behind off Rashid and missed stumping.
Yeah,
I think if the keeper had been a bit quicker, he
He'd
might
have
have
got
had a chance.
But there's another Chris who's coming to bat.
Attempts to pull the second ball of the over, and as he only dribbles 2 or 3 yards down the track, they're able to take a quick single. Dowlat throws and shies at his own stumps, but is unable to throw Wokes down.
He'd have been out by miles.
He would have been out by absolutely yards. It's all getting a bit agricultural out there with some of the shots that are being played.
It's not as easy when you just first go in.
Oh, and it's almost an impossible position.
Yeah.
Which makes what Moeen's done in his 5 balls just that little bit more remarkable. But he had the balls there to be hit in a more orthodox way.
Well, anyone who's come, because the ground's not quite full, it's probably 80-90% full.
Yep.
Anyone who's come today has paid,
certainly
got value for their money, and we're only at the halfway stage.
So 4 balls left to go, and Dowlat comes in, and that is hooked away by Moeen Ali, but only a top edge.
Yeah, it's gone though.
It's gone for 4. It seemed to just speed away further and further quicker than the wicket keeper can run. And Moeen moves on to 18 and 4 more runs.
1, 2, 3, 4, keep it up. 2, 3, 4, up. 2, 3, 4, keep it up. 2, 3, 4.
So they're only
3 balls left,
but also only 4 runs away from their highest ever score, setting the other score that they'd set in this tournament.
In the World Cup.
In the World Cup, yes. No, because they've made 415.
Their highest score in this World Cup.
Which would
would be in any World Cup.
Their highest score in this World Cup is their highest score in a World Cup.
And that's a shorter ball again, a bouncer, but it's bounced in too short. It's gone too high over Moeen's head, and I'm sure that's going to be called a wide.
Wide.
And the dismissal again, they're showing good Ben Stokes, and it was a fabulous delivery.
Yeah, just tailed in a fraction actually.
Well, if you look from behind the umpire, and there's none of the stump showing.
Yeah,
it really a bit of late movement there, I think, for Dowlat. Stokes feels a little aggrieved, but he'd feel aggrieved about most things, to be honest. And Dowlat come in and will try and bowl that ball again, and it's a slower ball, and Ali pulls that ball away. And unless you're Jack from Jack and the Beanstalk, the giant from Jack and the Beanstalk, you're not going to catch that.
Jack could have been in the Beanstalk.
Well, yeah, maybe to catch it.
Two balls for England to get to 400.
And they've taken the record, 390.
390, 93 metres, 24 sixes in the innings.
And he has looked in better touch, so maybe
he's let the ball come to him.
Being dropped for that match has given him an opportunity to go and you could work in his game a little bit.
It wasn't necessarily a drop for anything other than tactical reasons. Or at least that's what I'd be telling him anyway.
Well, having bowled very well, Dowlat's had a bit of a pacing this over.
Just a little bit. And he's in for the 5th ball of the over, and Ali just absolutely clips it with perfect timing over cow corner. 6 more runs. Ali moves on to 30 from 8 balls, and that's 396 for 6 with 1 ball left to go. The 400 is in view.
I remember playing a tour game once when the opposition were on 296 with 1 ball to go, and I made quite a good full-length diving stop to save a 4 just so they didn't get 300.
Yeah.
Well, they might need you in the field now.
They might, yeah.
God, Bangladesh they'd take any of us, I think, in the field.
Yeah, well, Afghanistan certainly need more than 11 in the field the way that they've been fielding in this tournament.
4 gorillas out in the field might help them. Well, they might not.
Last ball of the innings, and what an innings it has been. Oh, Ali just asks for a bit
30 off 8.
Just a bit more time. So Dowlat will come in and bowl the last ball of this innings. And he'll come from around the wicket. And it is full, and it is on just outside off stump, and Moeen's unable to carve that ball away, but it was a decent delivery. Just a single able to be taken. Dowler with figures of 3 for 85 off 10. England finish on 397 for 6 after their 50 overs.
Unbelievable.
What an incredible innings.
An imposing target.
I said at the 30 over mark, we're waiting for an explosion, and I don't think even I thought that they'd managed to do something like that.
Well,
It's been
what an explosion it's been.
Yep, it has. All set up by that 148 by Owen Morgan, which I think none of us are going to forget. Is going to forget, pardon me.
But as with the case, a good number of supporting innings to
Yes.
to bolster that total.
Well, if you like, I can go through the scorecard.
Please do.
Yep, so we start on James Vince, 26th, caught Majid, bowled Zadran, still hasn't had any time in the middle. Then Johnny Bairstow, caught and bowled by Gul Badin for 90. Joe Root made 88, a really...
Joe Root wearing a corset.
Well, he's wearing a corset now, but he...
maybe that's some hint at some sort of back problem or something.
Yes, 88 until he was bowled by Gul Badin and caught by Ramat. And then Owen Morgan, who really did take this Afghanistani bowling attack apart. 148, 71 balls, 4 fours, 17 sixes. I mean, that sounds ludicrous even saying that. Then Josh Butler 2, he was caught in Abbey bowled Zadran. Stokes was bowled by a very good in-swinging Yorker from Zadran for 2. And then Moeen with a little cameo, the definition of a cameo, 31 off 9 balls. He finished not out with Chris Wokes 1 off 1. The bowling figures, oh my God.
Oh,
Well,
dear.
they do not make good
Look
readers.
away
Like,
now.
oh, I've seen happier funerals than I think Afghanistani bowling attack
So
today.
Majid 10 overs 0 for 44.
Absolutely impossible, given that they made 400. Brilliant.
Dowlat and Gulbadin, the best bowlers. Dowlat 3 for 85. Nabi 9 overs 0 for 70. Gulbadin 10 overs 3 for 68. Ramat 2 overs of filth for 19. And Rashid Khan 9 overs, no maidens, no wickets for 110.
The worst figures in World Cup
What
history.
we believe to be the worst figures in World Cup history. An economy rate of 12.22.
I think we should highlight Majid very carefully and sensibly got through his 10 overs before Owen Morgan came in.
Absolutely.
But Gul Badin's 3 for 68, actually a very creditable performance.
An indication of just what we've experienced over the last 10 overs. England moved their score by scoring 143 runs for the loss of 4 wickets in that last 10 overs.
that
all on its
is
own.
extraordinary.
And we did have the stat. Morgan scored 81 off 28 in those last 10 overs.
God.
Got a few tweets to catch up with. Wiggy says Rashid Khan was expensive in the IPL this year. Hasn't been that effective in the World Cup. Perhaps he has been found out. Smouty references those 4 wickets. Shocking collapse by England. Careless batting and overconfident. I think they've got a lot to be overconfident about in their batting at the moment. Paul Bluestring Parks. Afternoon Gorillas, just tuning in after a pesky morning and lunch in the office. Hopefully with you now for the duration. I'm predicting an early finish. We'll see. Arthur says, you know who'd be handy chasing this down? Hazratullah Zazai. Oh, and Mohammed Shahzad. Clovis the Apostate missed the fireworks. Whatever they gave to EOI and Morgan for those back spasms worked a treat. He says,
Yeah, I
I'm
think
not
we'll all-
implying anything untoward.
No, I think we'll all take a couple.
Yeah, we'd all, yeah.
Might be acupuncture, for all I know. Nakul is talking about the ODI bowling record. He's joint second worst with Wahab Riaz, 3 behind Mick Lewis, although Rashid didn't bowl his full 10. I bowled 9 overs for 101 once, but at least I did take 4 wickets. And we've got some stats. It is the most 6s by a team in an ODI. Beats the West Indies 23, which was against England in Bridgetown. Oh, I think do we remember that one? It was earlier this year in February.
25 sixes, Andy. 25.
It says 24 on here. But yeah, so many
Well, I've got 25.
people are losing count. Yeah.
I've got 25 here.
Seagrave Sarv, Moeen looking great. Will this innings play himself back into form?
We hope
Ravi
so.
Nair also has a word for please note the genius of Moeen. 31 off 9, and you could see how Stokes and Butler couldn't get going in that situation.
No, he played very well. Played within himself, even with all those 6s being hit.
Yep,
just
and
played-
Kunal, the last one, says Morgan came in when Root was on 45, and he was on 142 when Root was out for 88.
So, at this point in time, as they take their break, so will we. we shall be back just
all-
after
all
the
take
lunch
a
break.
breath after
and
that.
we'll take a breath.
Yeah.
And we'll look to see how Afghanistan respond to this mammoth total that they have to face. So we will see you, but we will see you in due course. But we will leave you with some things to keep you entertained along the way.
Yep, so we'll have a short sting to remind you that we do need your cash if you want to consider this, keep this free commentary going and watch us describe, listen to us describe that absolute mammoth innings of this England team. And after that, you will get midway through the India-England 30-20 in 2016, and you can relive more Owen Morgan fireworks. But until then, we'll see you in 30 minutes.
See you in a few.
Alternative cricket commentary, bringing you laughs, bringing you jingles, bringing you joy. We are Gorillas. We need your patreon.com/Gorilla Cricket.
As well, and get the odd jingle in. Got any tweets there, Dan? No tweets.
Well, there's one from Katie Scott, but it's part of a conversation, I think. She says she bases her knowledge... Oh, wait, a tweet's just come in. From Cantankerous C. Can't wait for Panther face Stain in a game. May end up with holding Willie.
Oh, dear. I like it. Adwa Sheed
God, I just
starts
got
a new
that.
over. And this one's been driven back to him by Suresh Raina. Dropped. And he has put it down. I think that was a chance.
He was taking evasive action, I think. He was diving to his left.
Driven back hard, and he was in the stride of his follow-through. We'll have a look at that in due course, no doubt. But we're straight on with the game again. He's over the wicket to the left-handed, and his